Hello, my friend, and welcome to Sleepy Facts. I'm glad you're here, settling into this quiet corner of the night. This is a place where the world softens, where learning drifts like gentle tides, and where your thoughts can loosen their grip and slow. Let the day fall away now and allow yourself to sink into a calm, safe space where curiosity becomes a lullaby and every breath draws you deeper into rest. Imagine for a moment that the world around you is made not of solid things, but of whispers, vibrations, faint currents of light and scent drifting through the air. Imagine that reality itself is a soft mist shaped by the delicate instruments inside your body organs that listen to the quiet gather meaning from shadows and weave the universe into something you can understand. Every color you've ever seen, every taste that lingered on your tongue, every flutter of warmth or coolness across your skin, each of these sensations began as a small, invisible signal carried to your brain like a note in a secret symphony. Tonight we travel into that inner world, into the dreamlike landscape where your senses awaken, intertwine, and compose the story of your life. Not a loud story, not a fast one, but a soft drifting memory of how your body turns the unseeable into something intimate, something completely your own. And as you float through this gentle realm, you may begin to notice how perception itself feels like a slow, luminous dream. One your mind writes, moment by moment, even as you fall asleep. It begins quietly, like stepping into a warm pool of moonlight. The senses rise around you, not as sharp tools, but as soft constellations glowing faintly in the dusk of the mind. Vision drifts forward, first tender and fluid, bending light into shapes that feel familiar. Your eyes gather only fragments, scattered reflections, upside down images, tiny pulses of brightness. Yet your brain lifts those fragments like tiny brushstrokes and paints an entire world without hesitation. It fills in the missing edges you never see. It smooths the world upright, even though the image on your retina lies flipped. It stitches reality together with such care that the illusion never breaks. And beside vision, taste moves in like a quiet breeze. You think you taste with your tongue alone, but the truth is softer, more dreamlike. Flavor is a mixture of imagination and memory drifting together in your mind. A strawberry is sweet, not just because of its sugars, but because its scent rises into the nose, because its color prepares you for sweetness, because your brain whispers, "This is familiar." This is home. Even expectations become part of the meal. Your senses, it seems, are gentle collaborators painting flavor from a palette far wider than taste alone. There are those rare and luminous souls whose senses blur together in ways the rest of us only glimpse. Some taste words as though language itself were flavored. Some see music unfurl in shimmering bursts of color. Some feel textures ripple through sound as if every note carries a secret touch. Their perception is a soft kaleidoscope, revealing how deeply intertwined the senses truly are. How the world can feel more like a poem than a picture. But even for those without such vivid intertwining, the echoes remain. A bright sound may feel warm. A soft color may seem sweet. The senses have always overlapped quietly, subtly, in a conversation older than consciousness itself. They compose reality together, never alone, a symphony conducted in silence. Smell drifts into this dreamscape next, tender as a memory half remembered. It is the sense most deeply tied to emotion, the one that slips past thought and speaks directly to the heart. A whiff of campfire, the sweetness after rain, the scent of a familiar place. Each is a doorway to years long gone. You see a moment in your mind, but what returns first is how it felt. Because smell does not travel the long, logical roads of the brain. It steps quietly into the regions where emotion and memory sleep side by side. And with a single breath, an entire chapter of your life reawakens. Your sense of smell is uniquely yours, as individual as a fingerprint. The air carries the same molecules to everyone, but your brain interprets them through pathways shaped by genetics, experience, and the architecture of your nose. Two people smelling the same rose are not inhaling the same poetry. One may find warmth and sweetness. Another may sense something sharp, nostalgic, or distant. Even identical twins, sharing almost every thread of DNA, find their worlds scented differently. And the range of smell is immense, a quiet marvel. Your nose can recognize over 1 trillion distinct odors, far more than science once believed. Each scent is not a single note, but a chord, a pattern woven through hundreds of microscopic receptors. The fragrance of soil after rain, the salt from the sea, the warmth of someone you love. These are mosaics of signals decoded instantly into meaning and memory. Smell also shapes taste, gently but profoundly. When you pinch your nose, Flavor dims, shrinking into simplicity. The strawberry loses its radiance. The chocolate loses its smoke. The mint loses its brightness. Only sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami remain the bare bones of flavor without the breath of aroma. It is only when you release the nose that flavor blooms again, full and warm, unfolding like a slow sunrise. Some experience taste with staggering depth. Super tasters living in a world where every leaf, every spice, every sip resonates more intensely. Others begin life with sweetness already anchored in their tiny hearts. Babies smiling instinctively at the promise of nourishment. And the burn of chili, not taste at all, but a soft whisper of pain dressed as heat. A trick of biology that sets the nerves alight. Your body gathers flavor through sound as well. A crisp apple snaps with a music that tells you it is fresh. A bubbling drink hums with a brightness that lifts its acidity. Food becomes a performance, each sense adding a gentle note. And woven into all of this, there may even be a sixth taste. The softness of fat, the warmth of richness, the quiet luxury of creamy textures that whisper to ancient instincts. Taste, like every sense, expands outward deeper than you might imagine. But perception does not belong only to humans. Cats wander through a world untouched by sweetness, guided instead by a sharper sense for savor. Fish taste with their bodies, drifting through water that speaks to them in chemical notes. Octopuses taste with their arms, feeling the ocean floor through both texture and flavor. Butterflies taste with their feet, sensing nourishment the moment they alight. The world is alive with ways of knowing, ways of touching, ways of sensing hidden currents of existence. Even before birth, touch begins to awaken. Long before sight or sound comes alive, the faintest brush of contact shapes the developing self, teaching the body where it begins and ends. After birth, touch continues its gentle guidance, a warm hand calming the nervous system, a soft fabric grounding the mind, a heartbeat settling the breath. Your skin, woven with millions of nerve endings, becomes the largest sensory organ you possess. It listens constantly to pressure, to vibration, to temperature, to emotion. Some feel touch with extraordinary delicacy. The faintest brush stirring sensations others cannot detect. For a few, seeing someone touched feels like being touched themselves. The boundary between bodies blurring in a tender, overwhelming echo. Warmth and cold whisper through separate channels, mingling only when the brain chooses to combine them. The lips, soft and sensitive, feel the world with astonishing clarity. Even in darkness, touch becomes a form of vision, fingertips reading the world in textures finer than sight can hold. Your brain, ever watchful, predicts what you will feel before you feel it. A surface, a weight, a temperature, all anticipated in an instant. This quiet foresight smooths your movements, softens your interactions with the world, keeps perception flowing seamlessly. Even sound can be felt, resonating through skin and bone, especially in the deep tones that hum against the body. Vibrations carry music into the hands of those who cannot hear, and into the chests of those who can. The ears never truly sleep. They simply relax, filtering out the familiar and calming the night. Perception is not merely sensation. It is the mind's continuous, gentle creation of meaning. A quiet construction of reality moment by moment, breath by breath. And so the dream unfolds, slow and tender, as the senses continue to rise around you like constellations forming a soft night sky. And in this drifting constellation of senses, new layers of perception begin to shimmer softly beneath the surface of awareness, unfolding themselves with the patience of moonlit tides. Hearing, always listening in the background, continues its quiet vigil. Even the faintest vibration of air can move the eardrum by less than the width of an atom, yet still become a whisper, a rustle, a breath of meaning. Your ears follow. Sound not only by volume, but by the slightest differences in timing. Tiny fractions of a millionth of a second, allowing you to sense direction even with your eyes closed. It is an elegant geometry of awareness born long before cities and clocks, back when the night was full of movements hidden in the dark. Sometimes sound lingers in the mind long after the world has gone quiet. A melody loops softly in memory, not because it plays in the air, but because the brain hums it back into existence. These little echoes drift like ghosts of music, reminders of how deeply the auditory world entwines with thought. And in the animal kingdom, hearing expands outward into realms we can scarcely imagine. Bats stitch the night with silence, made visible, navigating through echoes that return to them hundreds of times faster than our minds could process. Elephants feel rumbles that travel miles across open plains, sound sinking into the earth so deeply it becomes a vibration they hear through their feet. Whales send their voices through oceans' low tones, traveling thousands of miles, as if the entire planet were one vast resonating chamber. Owls glide through darkness, guided by the faintest rustle, mapping the world in sound with a precision so keen that light becomes unnecessary. Balance, too, is a hidden sense, a quiet compass spinning inside your inner ear. Fluid shifts gently in tiny canals, brushing past delicate hair cells that tell you which way is up, which way you're turning, whether the ground is steady beneath your feet. Spin too quickly, and the fluid keeps moving after you stop swirling the world in a slow after-image of motion. In space, without gravity to anchor that inner compass, astronauts drift through disorientation until the brain rewrites its understanding of direction. Even fish feel motion differently, reading pressure waves along their bodies through a shimmering lateral line that lets them sense the movement of water, the presence of nearby lives, the flow of the unseen. And then vision deepens again, not as sharp sight, but as perception, shaped by what the eyes choose to notice. They see only a thin sliver of the spectrum, a narrow ribbon of colors floating in a much larger sea of invisible light. Bees drift among flowers glowing in secret ultraviolet patterns no human eyes can detect. Snakes sense heat like a second layer of vision, turning warmth into brightness. Mantis shrimp wander through coral worlds, shimmering with colors beyond human imagination, light fractured into dozens of channels. Birds see hues so complex they do not exist in our language. Deep-sea creatures summon their own glow to paint the dark waters with brief, shimmering flashes. Your own eyes carry wonders, two blind spots that vanish as your brain fills them in images flipped upside down and righted before awareness arrives. Even in stillness, your eyes tremble in tiny movements, preventing the world from fading into gray. Color itself is not a property of light, but a creation of the mind, a translation of wavelengths into emotion and understanding. Some people see millions more shades than others, a quiet richness woven into perception without ever needing to be named. Even the way eyes respond to beauty pupils widening subtly when gazing at something beloved is a small whisper of connection between seeing and feeling. As the senses drift together, the brain does not keep them separate. It blends them into meaning. A red surface primed in memory may taste warmer in your mind than a blue one. A sound high and bright may make a dessert feel sweeter. The scent of coffee without a sip can sharpen alertness as surely as morning light. Music swells beneath the skin and sends tingles down the spine when emotion meets surprise. A whisper of gentle tapping can lull the body into calm, triggering soft waves of relaxation that ripple down the shoulders, along the arms, into the spine like warmth drifting through water. Even silence has its own sound, the quiet pulse of blood, moving the gentle hum of nerves alive beneath the surface. In deep stillness, the absence of external noise allows the body's internal symphony to rise softly, reminding you that even when the world is motionless, life within is never truly silent. Sleep folds itself around these senses, not shutting them off, but rearranging them. The brain filters sounds, allowing familiar ones to drift harmlessly into the night, while remaining attentive to anything unusual. Scents grow fainter, touch gentler, but inside the dreaming mind, memories stir with vivid sensation. Old landscapes return through whispers of light, echoes of texture, fragments of scent woven together by imagination. Dreams feel real because the same sensory regions that interpret the waking world begin to glow softly again, replaying fragments of lived experience. Perception then becomes more than a collection of senses. It becomes a quiet melody of existence. Every texture, every tone, every sliver of color threads together into something whole, a single seamless world, created moment by moment. The senses hum in harmony, translating the universe into thoughts and feelings, shaping life into a soft, continuous story. And as this gentle understanding washes through you, the dream grows deeper, as if the senses themselves are beginning to glow from within, guiding you further inward into the quiet heart of perception. And in this deepening quiet, the senses soften, even further unfolding themselves like petals touched by moonlight, each one revealing another layer of the world's hidden language. Touch, which has been with you since before your first breath, continues its quiet conversation with existence. Your skin, that vast landscape of nerve endings, listens constantly to pressure, to warmth, to vibration, to the faintest change in air. Each sensation arrives as a whisper, a brush of meaning that tells your body where it rests and where it begins. Some people feel these whispers with extraordinary clarity. A single thread out of place, a hair brushing the arm, the faintest shift in fabric, all can shimmer like ripples across an inner sea. For them, the world arrives in high-resolution, vivid, and immediate textures, speaking with a tenderness that can soothe or overwhelm. Others feel touch in more complex ways, mirroring what they see, echoing the contact of another person's experience. A hand on someone else's shoulder may feel like a ghost of sensation on their own skin, as though empathy itself had become physical. The boundary between self and other softens, and the world becomes a woven tapestry of reflected feelings. Temperature too speaks in two distinct voices. Warmth traveling along one pathway, coolness along another, meeting only in the mind to form the full story of comfort or alertness. A breeze across the face, a cup cradled in the palms, the tender glow of body heat beneath a blanket. Each arises through these twin messengers of sensation. And in places where the skin thins, such as the lips, the world becomes especially vivid. Here, touch becomes intimate. The warmth of a mug, the softness of fabric, the delicate shift of air passing close. These sensations, connected deeply to emotion, create a subtle language that shapes closeness, affection, and tenderness. Even without light touch, can become a form of vision. For those who read the world through their fingertips, the brain lights with patterns once reserved for sight. Tiny ridges of braille differences in texture, no wider than a strand of hair, become landscapes of meaning. In the absence of visual images, the mind retrains itself, weaving a map not from color, but from contact. This transformation is not compensation. It is evolution in miniature, a reminder that the brain is not fixed but fluid, a quiet architect adapting to the shape of experience. Movement ripples through the senses as well, even when you believe you are still the slightest shift of air, the faint hum beneath your feet, the pressure of a cushion beneath your weight, all become part of your inner compass. Balance moves through canals in the inner ear, through tiny crystals and fluid that whisper to you whether you lean or turn. When the world spins, it is not sight, but the lingering motion of that inner sea fluid, still moving after you stop, echoing momentum long after your body rests. And when weightlessness takes hold in the vast stillnesses above the earth, that compass must learn again, rewritten by gravity's absence. Creatures of water feel the world differently. Fish sense motion along their bodies, pressure waves, telling them of predators, companions, shifting currents. To them, touch and movement are the same language spoken through water rather than air. Sharks read electricity through delicate pores, perceiving faint signals that reveal life hidden beneath sand or far beyond sight. The platypus hunts with similar secret knowledge, gliding through murky streams where vision is useless, finding its path through electric whispers. In the deep rivers where sunlight cannot reach, other fish speak in pulses of electricity, sending messages to one another in rhythms as intricate as bird song, not heard but felt, not imagined but known. Plants too sense touch in ways slow and subtle. A vine brushing against a branch begins to coil. A leaf stroked by wind stiffens or softens its growth. The Venus flytrap waits patient and precise, counting touches before it closes its delicate jaws. Even trees seem to listen, responding to the vibrations of insects chewing, preparing their defenses from sound alone. The forest lives in a dialogue of movement and resonance, a quiet pulse of touch and sound, weaving from root to canopy. Light continues to sculpt the senses in this dreamlike world. Your eyes open only to a narrow window of the electromagnetic spectrum, a thin ribbon of color suspended in a vast ocean of invisible waves. Ultraviolet, infrared, X-rays, radio waves all drift around you unseen. What you call color is simply the mind's translation of wavelengths, an internal painting built from physics and perception. A strawberry reflects a certain pattern of light, but the color red exists only within your brain. Without sight, those wavelengths vanish into darkness. Without interpretation, the world would be colorless. Yet, hidden colors shimmer everywhere. Bees see ultraviolet pathways on petals, glowing signals leading them to nectar. Snakes perceive heat like light, watching warm bodies glow in the dark. Birds with 4 color receptors instead of 3 witness combinations of hues beyond human imagining, shades without names, gradients that lie outside language. The mantis shrimp navigates coral reefs with up to 16 color channels, perceiving a visual symphony no human can fathom. And deep in the ocean, where sunlight never reaches, creatures summon their own light. Tiny sparks of blue and green illuminating the void, soft lanterns in an endless night. Even more quietly, your own vision is shaped by illusion and expectation. Your brain fills in the blind spots where no receptors exist. It flips the world upright. It smooths the jitter of constant microscopic eye movements into stable sight. Peripheral vision, almost colorless, is tuned instead to motion, a guardian watching the edges of awareness. Pupils widen when you look at something you love, a physical reflection of fascination. After staring at a color, your brain summons its opposite, a ghostly echo balancing the visual world. And color itself is not inherent in light, but an agreement between your eyes and your mind. A translation, a story, a quiet miracle of interpretation. Some see far more colors than others, a subtle expansion of perception that enriches the world without ever announcing itself. For them, sunsets shimmer with deeper gradations. Shadows reveal hidden warmth, and familiar landscapes carry quiet complexities, invisible to the rest of us. The world becomes not brighter, but more layered, more nuanced, more softly alive. Even animals close to home perceive light in ways humans cannot. Goldfish see into ultraviolet and infrared, their world textured by signals we cannot witness. Certain frogs feel day and night through pigments in their skin, light itself brushing attention across their bodies. And the mantis shrimp, the tiny warrior of the reef, creates flashes of light with a strike so powerful that tiny bubbles collapse into brightness. All of these sensations, all of these pathways into perception gather in the quiet center of your awareness. Here the senses blend not as separate experiences, but as threads woven into one continuous tapestry. Light, sound, scent, touch, motion, all dissolve into a single flow of meaning. Time, too, is a sense. Its passing stretches and contracts depending on emotion, novelty, or calm. Moments of fear feel longer because the brain records them more densely. Moments of peace drift with soft, unmeasured ease. Your perception of the present is always slightly delayed, shaped by prediction, memory, anticipation, a gentle illusion that keeps the world smooth and coherent. Inside you, other senses whisper quietly. Your gut tastes what you eat long after the tongue is finished. Your heart listens to emotion and responds with its own rhythms. Your nose can smell fear, joy, sadness in the chemistry of others. Dogs detect disease in breath. Bees detect explosives in the air. And humans choose partners by scent. without ever knowing why. Even books carry their own aroma, the slow decay of lignin, releasing soft notes of vanilla and age. And outer space leaves a scent on returning suits, a faint hint of metal and starfire energy reacting with human-made materials in the vacuum. In rare minds, sound becomes color. Emotion becomes taste. Voices become textures beneath the skin. The senses cross, intertwine, and soften into one another, reminding us that perception was never meant to be rigid. It is a fluid dream the brain composes continuously. And as you drift deeper into this understanding, the world becomes quieter, more luminous, more intimate, as though the senses themselves are guiding you gently inward toward a place of rest. Into this deepening quiet, the senses begin to merge in even more intricate ways, weaving themselves into a tapestry of awareness, so gentle and so continuous that it becomes difficult to tell where one sense ends and another begins. Your perception is not a series of isolated experiences, but a single flowing river carrying sounds and colors and textures together as though they were all part of the same breath. The brain's task is not only to receive, but to blend, to soften the edges between sensations until the world feels whole. Every day, billions of tiny signals drift into your mind, vibrations through the air, traces of scent, patterns of light, shifts of pressure, subtle changes in temperature. Rather than overwhelm you, the brain quietly arranges them, choosing which ones matter, which ones to set aside, which ones to bring forward in a moment of meaning. When you sip tea, you do not feel the warmth, taste the bitterness, smell the steam, and hear the cup separately. You experience one unified moment woven together by the quiet artistry of your mind. This merging of senses is called multisensory integration, but it feels more like something ancient, a truth the body has always known. The brain listens to every signal, weighs their reliability, and lets the strongest one guide perception. If vision is clear, sound softens into the background. If darkness falls, hearing sharpens and touch becomes attentive. The senses step forward or retreat like dancers taking turns at the center of a dimly lit stage. When these signals conflict, the brain must choose which story to believe. Watch a puppet and hear a voice nearby, and your vision may pull the sound into the puppet's mouth. See lips form one syllable while hearing another, and your brain may invent a middle ground, creating a sound that exists nowhere but in perception. The mind seeks coherence above accuracy. It prefers harmony even if it must gently rewrite reality to find it. The illusion of movement can arise from sight alone. Sitting still in a parked car if the vehicle beside you begins to roll your eyes. Report motion, and your body believes them. A soft sway washes through you, not because you have moved, but because your senses are trying their best to agree with one another. Flight simulators rely on this same principle, blending sight and sound to make stillness feel like soaring. The brain does not simply record, it predicts. It guesses what will happen next, prepares your senses for it, and adjusts when the world surprises you. This prediction is why the present is always a fraction of a heartbeat behind reality. Your brain takes time to gather and interpret signals to align your senses into a coherent moment. Instead of showing you a world with gaps and delays, the mind smooths everything together into a seamless now. You live slightly in the past, and yet the experience feels immediate, effortless, and whole. Even time itself bends in the hands of perception. Moments of fear feel slow because the mind records more details, creating memories so dense that they seem to stretch from within. Moments of peace drift by gently like leaves carried on quiet water. The internal clock responds not only to daylight and darkness, but to temperature, emotion, rhythm, and rest. When you cross time zones, your body does not immediately believe what the sun is telling it. It holds on to its own sense of morning and night until light gradually rewrites it. Deep inside, another ancient sense stirs a faint awareness of Earth's magnetic field. Though subtle in humans, the brain responds to changes in magnetism, as though some old part of our ancestry still listens to the planet's quiet whisper. Birds see magnetic patterns as an overlay of light. Salmon navigate by magnetic maps imprinted from birth. Sharks sense electric currents induced by the Earth's field. Even pigeons feel shifts in air pressure, reading the sky as a textured landscape. Nature is full of senses that overlap and extend beyond our familiar five each creature, crafted by its environment's demands and gifts. As you continue drifting through this gentle universe of perception, light softens again, returning to the quiet inner world where scent and memory intertwine. Your heart, with its woven network of neurons, feels more than you might expect, responding to emotion instantly, echoing changes before your mind interprets them. Your gut too listens to the chemistry of what you consume, tasting nutrients long after your tongue has finished. Together, these inner senses form a hidden chorus whispering to the brain through nerves and hormones, guiding intuition, hunger, calm, and awareness. Your nose can sense emotions carried in the faint chemical traces of breath and skin. Fear carries a subtle signature, happiness another. Sadness too has its own quiet note. We no longer rely on these scents for survival, yet they remain part of our intuitive understanding of others, forming impressions deeper than thought. Animals with keener senses help reveal what is possible. Dogs detect illness long before symptoms appear. Bees can be trained to find hidden chemicals with precision machines cannot match. And humans too follow scent in ways we often overlook, choosing partners by chemistry, feeling comfort or familiarity through the aroma of a loved one, sensing approaching rain through an earthy molecule carried on humid air. Even the scent of books carries its own story, lignin and ink dissolving slowly into compounds reminiscent of vanilla and wood. This fragrance, beloved by many, is nothing more than the gentle aging of paper. Yet it evokes memories of libraries, quiet afternoons, and stories waiting to be opened. In space, the world reveals another unexpected scent. Astronauts returning from the vacuum describe the aroma clinging to their suits as metallic and smoky, like seared metal cooling in the dark. The smell is born from the reaction of cosmic radiation, with surface materials a trace of the universe left behind as a whisper of stars. And perception does not end at the boundaries of waking life. In dreams, the brain reactivates sensory regions, replaying memories with fragments of light, touch, and sound. Some dreams carry the scent of rain. Some hold the warmth of a familiar voice. Some recreate sensations that never happened, new combinations of old experiences woven into something strange and tender. Dreams feel real because the brain uses the same circuitry it uses while awake, only freed from the constraints of logic and time. Taste shifts with the hours of the day. Sweetness brighter in the morning, bitterness deeper at night. The body's rhythms sway gently through the senses, influencing hunger, desire, pleasure, and calm. Pressure changes in the atmosphere tug at joints and tissues long before storms arrive, stirring faint aches that feel like weather forming inside the body. Some people sense another's gaze without seeing them, picking up on subtle cues the conscious mind cannot track. All of these perceptions, the faint, the deep, the ancient, the modern, move together like currents beneath the surface of a calm sea. They shape the way you experience the world moment by moment, even when you are unaware of it. They form a quiet dialogue between the outer world and the inner self, between sensation and meaning, between body and mind. And as you drift even deeper into this dreamlike understanding, the senses begin to feel less like separate threads and more like a single woven fabric, holding you gently within its embrace. And in this final stretch of the dream, the senses gather themselves like soft drifting clouds, preparing to settle into a single quiet harmony. They have carried you through vibrations and colors, through memories shaped by scent and flavors sculpted by imagination, through hidden languages of plants, animals, oceans, and air. Now they begin to turn inward, returning gently to the quiet center where perception and rest meet. Pain itself reveals the mind's subtle power. In moments of danger, the brain can dim pain entirely, letting you move before the ache arrives. Endorphins rise like a warm tide, cushioning the body, protecting it until safety returns. Only once calm settles does the full sensation return, not as punishment, but as the body's careful reminder of where healing must occur. Pain is not a simple message, but a decision the brain makes, balancing protection with possibility. Expectation can shift perception just as gently. A harmless pill, believed to be medicine, can soothe pain, sharpen clarity, or warm the body. Not from deception, but from the brain's ability to reshape sensation in accordance with belief. The placebo effect is not a trick. It is an illustration of how profoundly the mind participates in the construction of sensory experience. Taste becomes richer when the mind expects richness. Sound grows softer when the mind anticipates calm. Warmth can bloom across the skin simply because you believe comfort is coming. Sleep too is shaped by sensation. As the body drifts toward rest, the brain closes certain gates and opens others. Sound becomes filtered familiar noises, dissolving into the background, while anything unusual gently nudges the mind awake. Smell softens, touch drifts into a muted haze. Yet inside, dreams' sensory memory awakens again, colors glowing with impossible vibrancy textures, reappearing from forgotten afternoons, voices echoing from years long past. Dreams weave these sensations into stories without direction or boundary, using fragments from waking life to paint landscapes that shimmer with feeling. You move through those dream worlds not as an observer, but as a traveler within your own mind's quiet theater. Time that's soft and shifting sense plays its part here too. In dreams, moments expand and collapse, moving with the rhythm of imagination rather than clocks. Waking, your sense of time stretches with novelty, shrinks with familiarity, adjusts with heartbeats and breath. Your internal clock changes flavor across the day, shaping hunger, perception, and ease. Taste grows sweeter at dawn, more subtle by nightfall. Even your sense of warmth shifts with the sun and the moon. Before storms arrive, your body often knows. Pressure in the sky drops, tissues expand subtly. Joints respond with faint whispers that mirror the world outside. It is not a superstition. It is a dialogue with the atmosphere, a quiet exchange between body and sky. And sometimes the mind senses attention before the eyes do, that uncanny feeling of being watched, shaped by subtle cues and ancient instincts woven deep beneath conscious thought. The senses reach beyond the physical, blending into intuition. Some people feel weather changes in old injuries, memories preserved in bone and tissue. Some taste the bitterness or sweetness of emotion rising in the throat. Some feel music as chills along the spine, a pure rush of dopamine dancing across the skin. A certain melody rising suddenly into harmony can send a wave of tingling light through the body, a physical echo of awe. Soft tapping, gentle whispering, delicate movements of sound can unfold into ASMR, a calm, shimmering sensation that flows gently downward like warm rain, easing the mind towards sleep. Even silence has its own texture. Step into a room without echo, and the hum of your own body grows audible. The heartbeat's subtle thrum, the faint movement of blood, the breath expanding and softening. True silence does not exist for the living, because life is never without motion, never without sound. When external noise fades, the inner world steps forward, reminding you that stillness is not emptiness, but intimacy. And here, at the heart of all these sensations, light and color, warmth and cold, sound and silence, touch and memory, lies the quiet truth of perception. Your reality is a symphony, your senses compose together. Every hue you've ever seen is a translation, every flavor a collaboration, every sound a vibration shaped into meaning by the delicate structures of the ear and the attentive whisper of the mind. You do not simply receive the world. You create it. You build it moment by moment from fragments, waves, molecules, vibrations, pressures, seamlessly woven into a single tapestry. The universe outside you is full of signals, but the universe inside you is full of interpretation. Your senses are the bridge between them, turning physics into feeling, chemistry into memory, vibration into emotion. And now, in this soft twilight between waking and sleep, they gather once more into harmony. They hum their quiet lullaby, the scent of the day fading from the air, the gentle weight of your body settling into rest, the pulse slowing, warmth spreading across limbs, the eyes growing heavy as the last traces of light dissolve behind them. Perception folds inward, no longer reaching outward for detail. It becomes softer, simpler, more dreamlike. The boundaries between senses blur, blending into a haze of warmth and softness. Sound begins to drift into the distance. Touch becomes gentle, like the memory of comfort rather than the sensation itself. Color dims into quiet shadows. Thought slows into long, drifting currents that carry you toward sleep. In this final quiet, the senses do not disappear. They simply rest. They continue their gentle work, guiding your breath, protecting your dreams, shaping the edges of the night with tenderness. And as they soften, perception becomes something deeper, not a flood of information, but a peaceful awareness that floats lightly beneath consciousness. The world narrows to the space around your body, the slow rhythm of breath, the warmth beneath your skin, the hush of the room, the gentle hum of existence. This is where rest begins. Let yourself drift now. Let the senses quiet. Let the body sink into stillness. Let the mind slip softly into the dim glow of dreams, breathing in and out, floating gently on the threshold between waking and sleep. Tonight, perception becomes peace. Tonight, the senses sing you to rest, and you may follow their lullaby into silence, into softness, into sleep. Good night, dreamer. Rest deeply. Rest gently. Rest well.